Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's take a moment to become present. So find yourself a nice, comfortable seated position on a blanket or cushion. Be able to elongate your back, elongate the back of your neck, open up your chest, open up your air passages. And close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle. Breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you can think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on the mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning, I'll talk about the fourth Yama, which is Brahmacharya. And this particular Yama has had quite the evolution. It first started meaning Brahmacharya. Brahma is actually the deity Brahma, and Charya means in Sanskrit to follow. So it was about following in the footsteps or the guidelines of the Brahma on the path to the deity. And I guess part of that pathway was about celibacy, because for quite a while it had this meaning of celibacy. But I think that has been tempered in more recent times, meaning non-excess. Don't, if you're, how shall I say it? If you're concentrating on one aspect of life, then you're kind of excessive in that area and you're not following the path to the deity. And then most recently, it's gotten new meaning. So there's this evolution. So the non-excess part can actually go both ways. You can be excessively busy or you can be excessively lazy. And part of that is finding the balance between overdoing things and underdoing things, like on a physical level, or overreacting or underreacting on a mental or thinking level. So the new phase, the new evolution is called finding the proper use of energy. And I think that does tie back to celibacy and non-excess. And I believe the Serenity Prayer actually illustrates beautifully what Brahmacharya is now about, this proper use of energy. So the Serenity Prayer, you may all know it, but it goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So if we break that apart, accepting the things I cannot change. You know, how many days do you wake up and it's, or this would be for me, pouring rain outside and like, oh, I don't like the rain, and I get all this energy worked up over something that I cannot control at all, have no control over whatsoever. And then the courage to change the things I can. So if I'm in a spot like Seattle that might get a lot of rain, maybe I should move. That would be the courage to change, make a change to something. Or if it's climate related, not getting too into climate, the climate issue, but there are things that we could do to help the climate along so that it doesn't have these severe weather changes. So, you know, trying to find that proper use of energy to maybe not spend negative energy on things you can't change, but spend positive energy on the things that you can change. So that's Brahmacharya. And so today, for our pranayama, our breathing technique, we're going to have a little bit of a spin on that one. The Nadi Shodhana, which is the alternate nostril breathing, kind of plays into that energy thing that I was just talking about. So with Nadi Shodhana, you're breathing through alternate passages at different times. So your left nostril actually is the energy channel for relaxation, and your right nostril is the energy channel for activity and more energy. So I think I've mentioned before the little trick of, if you're trying to fall asleep, try lying on your right side. So your left nostril has an open passageway, and that energy of relaxation will help you go to sleep. And if you're trying to wake up in the morning, lie on your left side so that your right channel is open, and that channel to the energy of activity is activated. So let's begin doing the Nadi Shodhana. And with that, we use a mudra, which is called the Vishnu mudra. And that is actually a mudra about balance. And this whole breathing technique is about balance and calming. So put your hands, palms up, and then bend your index finger and your middle finger down, having the other three fingers extended. So we're going to put the thumb on the right nostril to begin with, and inhale fully through the left nostril. And when you come to the top of the inhale, you're going to switch fingers. So you're going to bring your ring finger to the left nostril, and then exhale through the right nostril. And then inhale through the right nostril. And when you reach the top of the inhale, you switch fingers, putting the thumb on the right nostril and exhaling through the left nostril. Then inhale through the left nostril. At the top of the inhale, you switch fingers, bringing the ring finger to close that nostril, and exhale through the right nostril. So the key is that every time you reach the top of your inhale, you're going to switch your fingers. So inhale through the right, switch fingers, exhale through the left, inhale through the left, switch fingers, and back. So continue this for a few moments. This technique is also great for when you're feeling panicky. It's I read a story once where the young guy who had gone through all sorts of counseling and acupuncture, I mean, tons of treatments to try to stop his panic attacks. And this actually was the only thing that helped him. So again, at the top of the inhale, switch fingers. And you can come back to your regular breathing now. And I guess I have a friend at the end of the mat. We have Walla, Oreo, Trout, and Lamb Chop as friends. You want to come over here, Barbara? Right. Maybe not. Alrighty. So, yeah, I think you're gonna come. All right. Hard to get him to follow my cues. So find yourself in a nice seated, comfortable position, and we'll start our asana, the pose part. So we're going to start off with shoulder shrugs. So just relax your shoulders. Try to release any tension, release any buildup of armor that we talked about last week, that when you get tense and your body actually starts to physically build in some armor. So your shoulders and your chest and your upper back become very tight. So let's just loosen that up by shrugging our shoulders. So just in a very gentle movement, bring the shoulders up to your ears and then to the back where your shoulder blades are coming together, and then down and to the front, making a nice gentle circle. And then switch directions. Loosen everything up, relax. Then placing your fingertips on the mat beside you, we'll do a few sun breaths here. So inhale, lifting your arms up to the sky, and then deep exhale through your nostrils, bringing your hands back down to the mat. Inhale, lifting your hands up. And exhale, bring your hands back down. Inhale, lift your arms up. And exhale, bring your arms back down. Time, bring your arms up with a deep inhale. And then turn to the left, so you're facing the left side of your mat, and bring your right hand down to your left knee and your left hand down behind you, keeping yourself turned to the left side of your mat. Then inhale, bringing both hands up overhead. And then twist to the right, bringing your left hand down to your right knee and your right hand in back of you. Then inhale, bring both arms back up again. And come back down to the left, turning to the left side of your mat. Right hand goes on your left knee. And then we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to twist to the front, bringing your left hand over to your right knee so that your arms are crossed, left arm over your right arm. And then bring your hands, the back of your hands together for eagle arms. And then inhale, bring your hands back up overhead. And then twist to the right, bringing your left hand down to your right knee, right hand down behind you. Inhale, bring both hands up overhead. And twist to the right, to the left rather, bringing your right hand down on your left knee. Inhale, come back up, hands overhead. And twist to the left, to the right, bringing your left hand down on your right knee, right hand behind you. And then we're going to keep your left hand on your right knee and bring your right hand back to center and over, grabbing your left knee. And then bring both backs of the hands together for eagle hands, or eagle arms. Then inhale, lifting your arms up overhead again. Turn to the left, bringing your right hand down to your left knee. Inhale, come back up. Then turn to the right. Left hand goes to right knee. Inhale, come back up. Turn to the left. Right hand goes to left knee. And you swing your left hand over and place it on your right knee. And again, bring the backs of your hands together for eagle arms. And then inhale, lifting your arms up overhead. Twist to the right, bringing your left hand down on your right knee. Back is nice and straight. Inhale, lifting your arms up overhead. And twist to the left. Right hand comes down on your left knee. Inhale, come back up. And one last time. Left hand turning to the right, left hand goes down on your right knee. And then sweep your right hand over to the center and grab onto your left knee. And bring the backs of your hands together for eagle hands, eagle arms. And if you're so inclined, you can actually try to get the palms of your hands together. The backs are fine. And then inhale, come up and bring both hands down to the mat. We're going to roll down on the mat, so you can roll down one vertebrae at a time, or express method, one vertebrae at a time. Just slowly come down until gravity takes over. Bring your knees to your chest and give them a nice hug. Maybe just rock back and forth a little bit, give your lower back a nice massage. Then extend both legs down to the mat so that you're in a reclined mountain pose. Your lower back is tucked toward the mat. Toes are pointing up toward the sky. And then slide your right leg so that your right foot slides along the inner thigh and comes up to the level of your knee, keeping your right knee pointing to the right side of the mat. So your legs end up in a figure 4. Then bring your right ankle so that it sits on top of your right leg, right above the knee. And then you're going to slide your left leg up so that the left knee is pointing toward the ceiling. So this might be great for you all to, at this point for pigeon pose. You may want to just try to guide your right knee so that it's facing more toward the left side of your mat. And that might be enough for you, or you can lift your left leg up off mat and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, bringing your left thigh toward your chest. And if you want a little bit more stretch, you can interlace your fingers in front of your left shin and bringing that left leg toward your chest. And you want to try to keep your right knee pointing to the right side of your mat. This is reclined pigeon pose. This is great for lower back, sciatica. So then we're going to release our hands from our leg, and then with our legs still in the air, we're going to bring the right leg over the left so that you're crossing. It's as if you're sitting in a chair and you have your legs crossed. So this could be a form of eagle legs. Or if you're able to, you can wrap your right toes around your left shin for even more eagle legs. We'll be doing these later on. So then bring your left foot down, placing it on the mat, and then sliding it down to the end of the mat. Keeping your right knee bent toward the sky, bring your right foot on top of your left leg, right above the knee or right on the knee. Then we'll take our left hand, place it on our right knee, and guide that right knee to the left side of the mat. So you're having a reclined twist. And you can use your right hand in any way that's comfortable for you to support your twist there. I find eagle arms works for me, or bringing it down with the palms up. And then bring both legs back to knees to chest and give them a nice hug again. And then slide both feet back down to the end of the mat. Recline mountain pose. Lower back's tucked toward the mat. Toes are pointing up. You slide your left foot along the inner part of your right leg up toward the knee, keeping your left knee pointing to the left side of the mat. Your legs come into a figure 4 position. Gentle hip openers. And bring your left ankle on top of your right leg, right above the knee. You're still in that figure 4. And then slide your right leg up so that the knee is pointing toward the ceiling. Right foot is flat on the mat. Left knee is pointing to the left side of the mat. And then you can lift your right leg up and interlace the fingers behind the thigh. Or if you want a little more stretch, interlace the fingers in front of the shin, guiding your leg toward your chest. I can really feel the stretch this morning. Usually I I don't feel it as dramatically as I feel it this morning. I'm not sure what's going on, but it feels like a good stretch. And then leaving your legs up in the air, cross your left leg over your right as if you were sitting in a chair. And if you're able to, you can take your left toes and twist them underneath your right shin for eagle legs. If not, just this is going to be fine for eagle legs later on. And then bring your right foot back down to the mat, slide it down to the end of the mat, leaving your left knee pointing toward the ceiling. Rest your left foot on top of your right knee. And we're going to do a twist. So take your right hand and guide your left knee toward the right side of the mat. And then bring that knee back up and bring both knees back to your chest and give them a nice gentle hug. And we're going to make our way back up to seated position so you can use your hands underneath your knees and just kind of rock back and forth until you get to a seated position, or come up to a seated position, whatever way is comfortable for you. And then we're going to go to tabletop. So come to your hands and knees. Your wrists should be right below your shoulders. Hands are spread apart. Weight is evenly distributed in your hands. Knees are right below your hips. Navel's tucked to your spine, creating a nice flat back. So we exhale, arching our back, rounding our back, and dropping our head and tailbone down for cat. Then inhale, lifting your head and tailbone up, dropping your tummy down for cow. Exhale, round your back, drop your head, tailbone down. A nice stretch. Inhale, lifting your head and tailbone up. Exhale, rounding the back. And continue at your own pace, using your inhale and your exhale, synchronizing those with the movement of your cat and your cow. And return to a neutral spine to tabletop. And bring your knees together, centering them underneath you. And extend your left leg out so that toes are pointing to the bottom of the mat. And then bring your left toes over to the right side of the mat. And try to keep equal weight distributed in your front hands. Slowly turn your head and look toward your back foot. Nice gentle crescent stretch here. And then bring your left foot back to center underneath you and extend your right foot out to the bottom of the mat. And focusing on equal weight distribution in the front hands, front of your body. And then slide your right foot over to the left side of the mat. And slowly turn your head to look at your right foot. And then back again. We'll do that again on both sides. So bring both knees underneath you together. Extend your left leg out. And bring it to the right side of the mat. And gently turn your head to look at your left foot. And then bring that back to center and extend your right leg out. And bring that to the right, left side of the mat. And look at your right foot. And then bring that leg back to center. We're going to lower our hips toward our ankles, extending our arms straight out front for child's pose. Really stretch out as far as you can reach. And bring your hips down toward your ankles as far as you can reach. Inhale, come back up to tabletop. We'll tuck our toes under and walk our hands back. And we're going to have some fun with this today. Instead of coming right up to mountain pose, we just kind of come up onto our tippy toes as if we were about to push down, come up into the mountain pose. But try to bring your hands up and just balance there. Anjali Mudra is a great place. You can put your hands on your knees or Anjali Mudra, but just try to balance there on your toes. And bring both hands back down to the mat and then push down in your toes and come up into mountain pose. We'll go through our mountain essentials. So big toes are pointing to the straight edge of the mat. You lift your toes up and spread them apart as far as you can, and bringing them back down to the mat. Lift your heels up and bring them back down to the mat. Legs are nice and straight. Soft, gentle bend in your knees. Navel's tucked to your spine. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Spine, back of the neck is nice and long. Crown of your head is reaching up to the sky. And let's inhale, sweeping our hands up overhead. And exhale, sweep our hands back down to the mat, bending your knees generously, landing your hands on the mat, on the floor. And just check in for a moment, see how everything feels in your body. Sending deep breaths to any place that might feel a little tense today. And for forward folds, this is always a great option. You don't have to have your legs straight. So whatever feels comfortable and good for you on your back, your lower back, you may want to adjust your bend of your knees accordingly. So inhale, sweeping your hands halfway up your legs to your shins. Straighten out your back. Have a nice long flat back. Gaze is ahead. Chest is open. Heart is open. And exhale, forward fold. Bringing your head down toward the mat. Again, you can have your knees bent as much as what is comfortable for you and your back. And then sweeping your hands all the way up from the floor on up overhead. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes for palm tree. And just sway here for a moment. Work on our balance. And then bring our heels back down to the mat. Bring your hands back down to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, half forward fold, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Crown of the head goes down toward the ground. And then sweep your hands all the way up from the mat on up overhead. Bring your palms together. And drop your right hand to your right thigh, sliding your right hand down toward your knee for supported side stretch. Inhale, bring that hand back up. And lower your left hand to your left thigh, sliding your left hand to your knee. Inhale, come back up. One more time to the right. Bring your right hand down. Slide your hand toward your knee. Inhale, come back up. And slide your left hand, bring it to your thigh, then slide it down toward your knee. And then bring both hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, half forward fold, flat back. Really stretch out that spine. Open your chest. Exhale, forward fold. And sweep your hands all the way up from the mat up overhead. And then bring them down in front of you at shoulder height. You just keep them there for a moment. We're going to lift our left leg up. Just create a little bit of a balance pose here. And then bring that left leg down. And as we bring it down, we're going to bend our knees, lowering our hips toward our ankles and come into chair pose with your arms staying out in front. And then inhale, come back up. Lift your right leg up. And then place your right leg down and bend at the knees, lowering your hips toward your ankles. Come into chair pose. Inhale, come back up. Lift the left leg up. And bring that one down. And bend at the knees, come into chair pose. And then inhale, come back up. Lift your right leg up. And one last time, bring your right leg down and bend your knees coming into chair pose. So chair pose, just see how low you can lower your hips, your thighs. Ideally would be parallel to the mat and you're able to see your front toes. And then come back up. Inhale, deep inhale, sweeping your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Come halfway up, half forward fold. Lengthening your back, spine. Exhale, forward fold. And then sweep your hands all the way up from the mat on up overhead. And then bring your hands to the back of your hips. Legs or feet are hip width apart. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked to your chest. And then with your hands on your hips, just lower your shoulders back for supported back bend. Remembering to breathe. And then come back up. Inhale, sweep your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Placing your hands down on the mat. Extend your right leg to the back of the mat and come into runner's lunge. So your left knee is over your left ankle. Your right leg is fully extended and active, pushing the heel to the back of the mat. Theoretically, you should be able to come up off your hands and support yourself with your legs. So you could try that. And then place your right hand down on the mat, planting it on the mat. Sweep your left hand up and over for a twist. And bring that left hand back down. Bring your right knee to the mat. And bring your top of your right foot to the mat for low lunge. Then keeping your fingertips on the mat, you're going to straighten out the front leg, come into half monkey. Following your leg down with your head. And then come back up again to low lunge. And then straighten out your leg again. Your ribs could be lying gently on your thigh. Bring your head down toward your knee. And then back up to lunge. And one last time, straightening the front leg, riding your ribs and thigh down. Bring your head down toward your knee. And then back up to low lunge. Tuck your back toes under and come back into runner's lunge. And then bring both hands to the inner part of your left foot. And you're going to walk your hands around to the center of the mat so that you are facing the long length of your mat. Your toes should be pointing to the long edge of the mat, and heels should be extended out a little bit, so you're pigeon-toed. So we'll walk our hands out in front of us as far as we can, and then walk our hands back to as far back as you can. So your head may come down and come into a forward fold. So if you just land your hands just directly under you, that's good. We're going to walk our hands over to the right foot. And then walk our hands over to the left foot. And then walk our hands back to center. With your left hand down on the mat, sweep your right hand up and over for a twist. Bring that right hand back down and switch places. Right hand goes on the mat. Left hand sweeps up for a twist. And then that hand comes back down. We're going to bend our knees deeply and then bring our hands up to our hips and slowly lift up so that you're straight up. Then we're going to turn our left foot pointing to the left side of your mat. Come into warrior two. So bring your left leg down into a lunge position so that your knee's right over your ankle. The edge of your back foot is nice and snug into the mat. And then ground your feet down, pushing them away from the center toward the edges of the mat. Really feel connected to the mat. And then we'll lift our arms up to shoulder height and slowly turn our gaze to our left fingertips. And lift our left fingertips up toward the sky, dropping our right hand back down toward the right thigh for reverse warrior. Then bring that left arm down so that's resting on your left thigh, sweeping the right hand overhead and up toward the front of the mat. So extended side angle. Opening your chest as much as it's comfortable for you. And then bring both hands back down to the mat, pivoting the back foot, coming back into runner's lunge. Bring your left foot to the back of the mat to meet your right foot and come into downward dog. Your hands are nice. Fingertips are spread apart. The weight of your should be on the fingertips, not on the wrist. Arms are straight. Chest is reaching toward your thighs. I'm pedaling here. Let's take 5 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And walk your hands to your feet. So you're kind of backing up, walking your hands to your feet. You're in forward fold position at the end. And then sweep your hands all the way up, come up into mountain pose. Hands overhead, bring them together, come down to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And now we're going to do the eagle pose. So I should have mentioned at the beginning blocks, but if you have blocks, great. If you don't, I will just do it without blocks. So bring your right leg over, crossing it over your left leg so that your toes are on the mat. Your right toes are on the mat to support you. And then bring your right hand out, your right arm out, and your left arm goes up over the top of it and bringing the back of your hands together. So you could stay here. Here's the new recent version of this, is bringing your hands out front in the Bernie pose. So you do that too. So eagle arms or Bernie arms, whatever works for you. So this might be just fine for eagle pose for everyone. Find your dristi, find your center. You're not overdoing, you're not underdoing. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can lift your right toes off the mat, bring your hips down toward your ankles so you're coming into chair pose, and bring the palms of your hands together. And then come out of that. And we're gonna inhale deeply. Arms overhead, exhale, forward fold. Bringing hands down to the mat. We're gonna extend our left leg to the back of the mat, coming into runner's lunge. Your right knees over your right ankle, left leg's fully extended, pushing the left heel to the back of the mat. And again, just to kind of test your strength of your legs, just lift your hands up. Feel the strength in your legs, the support they're giving you. And then come back down. Plant your left hand down into the mat, sweeping your right arm up to the sky for a twist. then bring your right hand back down. Bring the left knee to the mat, the left top of your foot to the mat. Come into low lunge. And we're going to straighten our front leg out, riding along our ribs to the thigh. Come into half monkey. Bring your head down toward your knee. And then come back up to low lunge. Your knees right above your ankle. And straighten out your front leg again, bringing your head down toward the knee. Inhale, come back up to low lunge. And one last time. Straighten out your front leg. Bring your head toward your knee. And then back up to low lunge. Tuck your back foot under. Come back up to runner's lunge. And this time we're going to bring our right hand to the inside of our right foot and walk our hands to the center of the mat, the long side of the mat. Our toes should be pointing toward the long edge of the mat, and heels are extended out a little bit so you're more pigeon-toed. And you can walk your hands up in front of you as far as is comfortable for you to reach. And then walk your hands back so that they're underneath you. And perhaps dropping your head down a little bit for a forward fold. Walk your hands over to your right foot. And then back to center. Then walk them over to the left foot. And back to center. Planting your left hand on the mat, you sweep your right hand up to the sky for a twist. And bring your right hand back down. Switching hands, planting your right hand, sweeping your left hand up to the sky. And bring your left hand back down. So bend your knees deeply. And bring your hands to your waist. And slowly lift your head up so you're standing up. And I'll turn around now. And I'm going to turn your right foot to the short edge of the mat, coming into warrior two. So your front knee's over your front, front knee is over your ankle. Back edge of your foot is nice and nestled down into the mat. And then again, push down and push away from your center, really grounding yourself into the mat. Feel that stretch and strength of your legs. Then lift your arms up, T-shape at shoulder height, sending your gaze to your right fingertips. Really stretch. Keep your feet pushing to the edges, one in one direction, the other in the other direction. And then drop your left hand down to your thigh as you're lifting your right hand up to the sky, following your right hand with your gaze, your dristi. And then bring your right arm down so that it rests on your right thigh. And extend your left arm up and over, facing the short end of the mat. Opening your chest for extended side angle. And bring your both hands back down to the mat, pivoting your back foot. So you come back to runner's lunge. Bring your right foot to the back of the mat to meet your left foot and come into downward dog. Then extend your arms, reaching your chest toward your thighs, pedaling your feet. We'll do 5 deep breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And walk your hands back to your feet. Come into forward fold. Then sweep your hands all the way from the bottom of the mat up overhead, bringing palms together, bringing your hands to your heart center. And we'll do eagle pose on the other side. So to lift our left leg up this time, bring it over, cross it over your right so that your toes are sitting on the mat. Your left arm comes up, your right arm comes over. So you can either do the Bernie or the eagle. And this might be just fine for everybody. Works for me. Or if you want a little bit more stretch, you can lift your left foot off the mat, bring your hips down toward your ankles, coming into a chair pose. And if you're so inclined, you could wrap your, and I'm not, wrap your left foot around your right leg. And that's great. Yay, everyone. Alrighty, so few integration moves here. So bring your toes to the edges of your mat, facing the front of your mat. And bring our hands to Anjali Mudra, heart center, and slowly bend our hips, bend our knees, lowering our hips to the mat. Come into a wide-legged squat. You bring your hands down toward the mat, pushing your elbows into your knees to create a little bit more stretch. That's comfortable for you. And then we'll come down to the mat and roll down one vertebrae at a time, or express method. Bring your knees to your chest, give them a nice hug, rock back and forth, give your lower back a nice massage. And place both hands on each knee, or one hand on each knee, and extend your arms out fully, pushing your knees away from you. Bring the soles of your feet together as you open your knees apart. Draw your knees back toward your shoulders. And then draw your knees over your chest, knees over chest. So again, pushing your hands away from you, extending your arms fully. Bring the soles of your feet together, opening your knees apart. Draw your knees toward your shoulders. And then close your knees over your chest. One last time. Send your knees away from you, fully extending your arms. Bring the soles of your feet together, opening your knees. Draw your knees back toward your shoulders. And then bring your knees back over your chest. Extend your arms out to each side at your shoulder height, forming a T. And lower your knees to the right side of the mat. And slowly turn your head to the left side of the mat to look at your left fingertips. Inhale, bring your head back to center. Inhale, bring your knees back to center. And then exhale, slowly lowering them to the left side of the mat. And then slowly turn your head to the right, looking at your right fingertips. And slowly turn your head back to center and inhale, lift your legs back to center and extend them out to the bottom of the mat, your feet to the bottom of the mat, and prepare for Shavasana. And just relax your feet, let them flop open. Relax your shins and your knees. Feel your hips relaxing deep into the mat, your lower back being supported by the mat. Relax your arms with your palms open, facing to the sky. Relax your shoulders so that they're nice and snug into the mat. Relax your spine, the back of your neck, your jaw, your eyes. Place a soft, gentle smile upon your lips. A poem entitled "It Is Enough" by Dana Falds. It is enough right now to taste one moment of peace. Of course, I want more, but at least the door is open. It is enough to draw a conscious breath and let my hands relax, fingers releasing their tight grasp on things outside of my control. It is enough to shed a layer of stress, as if taking off a jacket or a pair of too tight shoes. Ease of being has to start somewhere. This breath is my first step.